Hello, everyone. I need to finish my little debate, my little retort here on Twitter first. So hold on one second, because someone is wrong on the internet, and we can't, and we can't have that. Okay, someone is wrong about intellectual property on the internet. We can't have that. Okay, gotta put my phone down. Muy bien. You too, Nathan? Okay. I realize that my hair my hair is wrecked. I need to repink it. Pink fades so fast. So, Wayne, if you're listening, that seems like something we should do. Oh God, I've had a little bit of a cold. I don't want to make sure I don't got any bats in the cave. But you all would tell me, wouldn't you? This is one of those shows where, like I'm always worried I got something in my teeth or something in my nose. So I was looking in the mirror, checking my teeth before the show, and oh my God, there was something. It just gives me a heart attack. We are not going to have any longer of an intro, though. So you all already saw me do my little Twitter battle. Let's do the YouTuber stuff, and we're gonna get right into it. Believe it or not. If I can find, this camera's working out really well, but I'm looking for. There we go. I know it's kind of like loud and gaudy, but that's me, isn't it? Loud and gaudy. I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. We have hit the over 7,000 subscribers mark, which, this is a small channel with very niche content, but I really appreciate it. And you can follow me on Twitter at Karen Ann Harlos. And last but not least, I really appreciate your support on Patreon at patreon.com/Pink Flame of Liberty. I got a new supporter yesterday. It was actually an old supporter who had to drop off for a while and came back. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You'll be getting the personalized thank you from me shortly. It's just been a crazy couple days. And speaking of Patreon, my top tier supporters, they have all kinds of benefits they can claim, and very few of them do, like, getting something from the merch store. And I am going to be putting some new stuff in the merch store. But one of the things is that regularly I will advertise your Liberty idea, Liberty product, whatever it might be. So it's about that time again for me to mention Sean Dempsey's latest book. This is the third book of his that I have promoted. And that's just impressive that someone who's a consistent author, his other two books were children's books that you may remember, but this is one on investing. I'm not an investing person myself. So I'm going on what I know of Sean, that he will only write things that he believes, but of course, use your judgment. It's got good reviews on Amazon. So check out The Investor's Warp Whistles. This is, again, from a New Hampshire Libertarian who's been a long time supporter of this show. So please, let's have Libertarians support other Libertarians. Again, you can find it on Amazon. And thank you again, Sean. I really appreciate it. Okay, we're going to get right into today's I'm going to say very short episode, because I always go into my rants. I think that's what people come here for. And check out the new sparkly purple nail polish. Anyway, my camera does a good autofocus. Hold on. Now, well, it's keeping on my face. Actually, that's good that it's keeping on my face. Well, you can see it here. It's a nice deep purple sparkle. Okay. I had said the last time we did a time capsule that there was bring my microphone a little closer, that there was a column that I wanted to cover, because I went into a big rant on that little checkbox on your income tax where you get the federal welfare money, which obviously I'm not a fan of. Libertarians disagree, however, but I have my strong opinions. And Nathan asked in chat, did I see that we got Defend the Guard to the second House floor? No, I did not. Congratulations. All right, so we're on page 8 of the April-May 1977 LP News. And it's the last column along the side here. LP action against public financing. And speaking of public financing, Nathan, don't you in Arizona have, was it the Clean Elections Bill, where they'll give you government money to run? Anyway, so LP action against public financing. The National LP is concentrating its efforts against public financing of elections, a proposal in which there is a clear-cut libertarian versus anti-libertarian issue drawn. I didn't say it. Who wrote this column? Doesn't say who wrote it, but it very well could have been David Nolan. I do think I am on the libertarian side of this issue. I don't want to pick fights with anybody. We've got bigger things to fight about, but I would just ask people who think that is somehow a libertarian solution to rethink their position. And that may come up at some point in the LP's future. I will remind you that Harry Brown rejected the money twice, and he said he didn't regret it at all, and that he got more advertising dollar worth by rejecting it, because that was just so unheard of. People today, you're rejecting quote unquote free money. Listen, there's no such thing as free money. When you just see a piece of cheese lying around, there's a trap somewhere. Okay? Anyway, in addition to its own activities against public financing, the National LP is working with two different coalitions which have formed to fight various aspects of the Carter reform proposals. The Emergency Coalition to Save Free Elections is officially opposed to the entire Carter program, with the possible exception of Electoral College reform. I got some nails in my teeth. Another coalition has emerged in opposition to the public financing proposal. This is largely composed of former Eugene McCarthy supporters, libertarians, and some conservatives. McCarthy has pledged his active personal involvement in this campaign. You know, one day we need to do a show on McCarthy. Now, I know he's pretty universally demonized, and as you could tell, I gave my opinion about the McCarthy witch hunts. But there is, I don't want to call it an alternative history, but there are people who would like to paint an alternative point of view that it isn't as bad as people today paint it. I reserve judgment on that. I'm always open to hearing people out, but absent evidence to the contrary, my opinion is a solid bleh. But I think you guys know how, I don't want to say open-minded, but willing to hear somebody out that I am. The example I'm going to give is when I first realized that there really were flat earthers. I always just thought it was a joke, birds aren't real. I just thought it was a real sophisticated joke. And then I found out, dumb me, that there are legitimate flat earthers. And, not just two of them. There's, not a lot, but enough to be a genre on YouTube. And when I first learned that or figured that out, I actually heard them out. I watched hours and hours and hours of their video, because if people are willing to go against the tide, so blatantly, I want to hear what they have to say. Now, don't worry. I came to the conclusion through hearing them out that it's complete bullshit, but I didn't just have a knee-jerk rejection. I'm going to put that response on my screen, Nathan. I actually did hear them out. I tend to agree with you. Nathan said McCarthyism is just a soft fascist response to communism. If you guys remember, those of you who are my patrons, we do book discussions, but I actually made these book discussions public after a couple years of them being patron only. I stick them on my channel. So if you go back through, I think the name of the book was 1972, the year that changed history or whatever, and it was talking about all the momentous things that happened in 72. Roe versus Wade. I believe that was the beginning of the Watergate scandal. There was just all kinds of things that happened. But it talked about a little known commission there was that was kind of like the exact opposite of McCarthyism. I've got to look that back up because it was something I had never heard of before, and it's something I'd like to do some historical research on. If any of y'all know what I'm talking about, it was like an inquisitory committee, but against the right. That was formed that just didn't get as much attention as McCarthyism did. And I'd like to look into that. And I'm pretty sure it was from that book. And I'll have to, that one, it was a long time ago that I did it. But all those shows are on my channel. Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail, 1972, is also public now. And that was a real interesting read. Okay, sorry, continuing. McCarthy has pledged his active personal involvement in this campaign. The LP is keeping in touch with this effort as well. The most important thing you can do now is to contact your state LP party chairperson and get involved in their formation of broad-based coalitions to fight Carter's energy fascism and electoral reform. Now, I'm not trying to get into social culture war stuff in dealing with 1977's LP News, but something I want to show you here because it drives me crazy. And you're not going to be able to infer my position. I'm not getting into things like this, but I as a person, because I do another show called Jurassic Dictionary, which is an etymological show. I always struggle with that word, but I deal with old, dying, obsolete words, whatever. Language really interests me. And I'm not getting into people's pronouns, okay? But one thing I am going to get into is when people claim that using the plural they for a singular object, a singular person, is some new, Gen Z thing or millennial thing. They're just wrong. When you don't know the gender or sex, I'm not going to argue about that either. You know what I'm talking about. Of the person about which you're talking, they have been used forever for a singular stand-in pronoun. And it was just used in this sentence in 1977. Without even getting into the royal they or the royal we. I'm talking about the indeterminate they. So let's read this sentence again. And notice how the LP didn't say chairman, said chairperson. And then when used the pronoun, said there, when it was talking about a singular person. This is not a new invention. This is 1977. And they weren't trying to prove some cultural point here. Let's read the sentence again. I just don't have whatever position you want on all of these issues. Just don't misrepresent grammar, goddammit. Let's read that sentence again. The most important thing you can do now is to contact your state LP party chairperson and get involved in their formation of broad-based coalitions to fight Carter's energy fascism and electoral reform. Telling you to get in touch with a person and get involved in their efforts. Now, some might argue it's saying that state LP's efforts, but you can find numerous examples. That's just something that just really, really drives me crazy. The indeterminate they has been a part of the English language for a very, very long time. The North Carolina LP has already gained statewide publicity for its coalition of organizations working for a free market in energy. Other state parties are already at work. Help from every LP member is needed for crystallizing the issues, informing the public, writing letters, public speaking, and all the tasks that are part of a concerted effort to sway public and congressional opinion. The question of energy, especially, is likely to occupy public attention for many months to come. It's interesting. They went back into the energy thing when the title of this column was about about public financing of elections, but that's okay. We'll go on to read it. Time and effort invested now will repay enormous dividends in effective LP organizations, practical political experience, and increased public awareness of the practical superiority of libertarian ideals to the patchwork confusion of governmental manipulations. Interesting. I wonder if we have this on LPedia. So there's a little ad at the end here. Editor's note, and the editor, I believe, was Nolan. The National LP has just released its first issue kit, The Case for a Free Market in Energy. This kit contains carefully selected reprints, booklets, foundation studies, the definitive book U.S. Energy Policy, a primer by Edward J. Mitchell, and an extended LP fact sheet on the Carter Energy Program. I don't think I've ever seen this kit. The kit also contains advice on public relations, press releases, and instructions on how to properly form single-issue coalitions. Okay, I'm not trying to throw shade at anybody right here, but I'm just going to state facts. The idea of single coalitions did not just come about in the 1920s. The LP, since its inception, has believed in single-issue coalitions. The LP, since its inception, has believed in the power of local elections. That is not to denigrate anyone's current work in advocating for those things. But what it is to say is we need some humility. We are not the first people to come up with these ideas. These ideas were present at the party formation. We stand on the shoulder of giants, and we shouldn't engage in stolen valor by pretending like we're just so smart that we came up with this. Now, you could say maybe it wasn't executed properly in the past, but I don't know. Putting out an entire issue kit on how to form a single issue coalition and all the reprints and books and checklists and talking points you need seems pretty damn effective to me. I'd like to see this happen again today. This was a brilliant mind that thought of this. Orders for this kit will be fulfilled immediately, and it was $3 per kit back then to help defray costs. All serious activists should immediately order these impressive and thorough issue kits. I would love to see that. Wouldn't you like to see that duplicated today? It'd be so cheap because we could do it all digitally. You wouldn't have to write and get some physical kit. We could have it on our website. Or if we wanted to make it so that we were sure it was an LP member that was getting it, just that you would have to write a certain email address. Oh my goodness. That is such a good idea. At a next planning session or something with the LNC, I think I'm going to bring that up. I wouldn't have thought of that. Let's give credit where credit is due. Okay. How long have we been? Let me see if we're at the sweet spot. No, it's a little less than a half an hour, but I think that's all we're going to do tonight. But I know some people are wondering. Yes, that is a hairpiece hanging on the wall behind me. This is what color my hair should be. You can see how faded I am right now. Look what it should be. I'll put it on the side, yeah. Well, actually, you can't tell in my lighting in here. In my lighting in here, it doesn't look so bad. Remember when I was growing my hair long? It was getting to that, wasn't it? I should maybe do that again. I was cleaning up in here, and this was hanging up in the corner. And I hung it here and forgot about it. And then when broadcasting, I'm like, oh my God, that hairpiece is still hanging back there. But that is it for this evening. I'm not sure what my next show is going to be. I have some commentary clips and things to tee up. But because there is an LNC meeting this weekend, I tend to be very busy those weeks. So I did not want to deprive you of an episode. And since I got a new sponsor yesterday, I always feel the pressure. I need to deliver value. I need to deliver value to you guys. So I thank you so much for your support. I do have episodes of Pink Parliamentarian and Jurassic Dictionary recorded that will be going in advance preview to patrons first and then up on the regular channels at some point in the future. But anyway, I hope you have a good night, and I do hope to have another show this week, if I can. All right. Bye-bye.
You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians and choose to be an accountant because it's safe in the business, not because they want